Tom Taylor and John Timms kick Superman's powers into overdrive thanks to a solar flare, but instead of letting Bendix overwhelm him, John puts his extra power to good use to help even more people out around the world. Tom Taylor continues pitting Superman against President Henry Bendix as the villain's plans to overpower Superman and tarnish his image on the world stage continues. But it takes a pretty interesting twist, with John not wanting to waste his overcharged powers and putting them to use helping the people of Earth. Of course, this is what Bendix wanted, since it would be no doubt that he would hurt someone with his overcharged powers, but it was thanks to having Jay around that John found out about this in time and actually took a moment to have a break and stop and rest. I quite enjoyed a bulk of the issue was just Superman being Superman and putting others before himself, one of the key cornerstones of the character. Of course, this is also the much talked about kiss issue, where John and Jay share a kiss. I'm sure many a YouTuber will do outrage videos and outrage tweets and whatnot on this, but it's absolutely fine and a very welcome addition to John's tenure as Superman. I'm looking forward to Taylor actually getting into their relationship a bit more in the upcoming issues, seeing as John had to kind of rush off there at the end and they kind of left it in an awkward position, but that kind of makes sense since these two are still growing up people and it would be kind of awkward for these two, so I'm intrigued to see what he does with their relationship in the coming issues. John Timms continues delivering really fantastic, colourful feasts for our eyes each issue, giving John many of his own classic Superman moments depicting him saving and helping people around the world, really invoking John's new motto of truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. I also really like how he drew John over the course of the issue getting more tired and exhausted, and you could see it being visually signposted throughout the issue. Superman, Son of Kal-El issue 5 was another really fantastic issue that let John loose on the world to be the best hero he can be, despite his overcharged powers, finishing up on a really great direction for the character and one I'm eager to see explored more in the coming issues. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Superman, Son of Kal-El issue 5 finds Superman overpowered by the localized solar flare Bendix hit him with, feeling the energy exploding from his body and his powers going into overdrive. John refuses to open his eyes, since his heat vision will kick off along with various other telescopic and x-ray visions. His hearing is also heightened, letting him hear everyone on Earth who needs help. Soon the flare dies down as he hears about a flood in Luxembourg, a little girl lost in Costa Rica, a crying doctor, and a bunch of journalists being kidnapped in Zambezi. Despite knowing that Bendix pushed his powers to overwhelm him, he will not let them, knowing that he can save all the people with his overpowered abilities. He races down to rescue the fire post-human, taking him away from Gamora to Central City, where at super speed he meets with Flash, telling Wally that this man is like Faultline and his powers trigger with stress, hoping the hero can look after him. Superman flies off, telling Wally that he is needed as he saves a man trapped in his car in Luxembourg, knowing that the flood hit the city as a surprise thanks to the heavy rain all across Europe the last few days, all of which broke the local river's banks. Speeding around town, he gets everyone to safety, racing next to Africa, where he stops the terrorists from kidnapping the journalists, easily ripping into their car but moving carefully not to hurt anyone from his overcharged powers. Superman leaves the journalists to look after the bound up men until the police arrive as he heads to Costa Rica, finding the small lost girl in the rainforest and taking her to safety. Elsewhere, a doctor tells an EMT that they cannot take any more patients as dozens of ambulances arrive at the hospital. The woman breaks down on the steps of the hospital as Superman arrives, telling her to call Metropolis General and let them know the patients are coming. Putting all the transports on a newly constructed yet not open bridge, Superman lifts the bridge all the way across to Metropolis General, giving the patients some needed care. A doctor notes how Superman doesn't look good as the hero falls over, recorded on video by onlookers. The doctor wishes he could help him, but John tells him to stay back since he doesn't want to accidentally hurt the man, as he hears more people calling out for help. Nearby, a man unknowingly walks in front of a speeding truck, but Superman saves him, but is overcome by the truck's screeching brakes. Because of how fast he saved the man, Superman accidentally broke his arm. John is overcome with his overcharged powers, apologizing to the man as he unleashes a heat vision blast into the sky as the air finds him, telling him that Jay is in trouble. Heading to the man's apartment, John apologizes since his phone melted and he couldn't call him. Jay reveals that they are all in trouble if he keeps going on like this. He phases chases right into the apartment, surprising John that that's one of his powers, as he shows the hero that people have been videotaping Superman all over the world, and he's not in control of his overcharged powers, so Jay thinks that he's burning out. Superman explains that Bendix hit him with a solar energy blast and every one of his powers is boosted. Jay tells him that he's running around the world and expending that energy and it's tired him out quick, something that happens to everyone. John knows it shouldn't be happening to him, but Jay wonders if he's sure about that since there's not many half Kryptonian, half humans around that seem to have that issue. Jay tells him to give himself a break and there is something wrong, so he cannot afford to make a mistake and he cannot do what he does without the world's trust. John knows that he still hears people calling to him, and Jay knows that must be hard to listen to them all the time, wanting him to just take a moment to rest. John does so, laying on the man's couch and immediately falls asleep from exhaustion. Later on, he awakens to find some noise-cancelling headphones around his head, with Jay telling him that he figured that they would make it easy for him to stay asleep. John thanks him, learning that he was asleep for 9 hours. He can hear it's quieter outside now than before, and it was so loud and he couldn't ignore everyone who needed him. Jay says that he doesn't need John, confusing the hero as Jay explains that thanks to his powers, he can't actually be hurt, and John feels he has to protect every single person in the whole world, but he doesn't need to protect him, since he's the one person in the world Superman doesn't have to worry about. John and Jay share a kiss, and after a moment, John sees something with his telescopic vision, knowing that he has to leave. He knows this looks bad and he's running out on Jay, but he's not, and it's an armed robbery. Jay knows that that's the sentence he's not heard before, but John also remembers he left a bridge on a major road he has to deal with. He gives Jay his cape, telling him to look after it, and he'll be back as he takes off, knowing plotting against President Bendix with Jay sounds good.